Hello everybody. Today we're going to do yin meditation. So we're going to get into some yin poses. And this pose is going to be all around the hips. And they're going to be relating to our lower body meridians. So I'm going to keep repeating the information about it all. But I need you to be comfortable. So I want you to find whatever you can in the house. I got cushions, blankets, I got this roll, a shaggy carpet. I rolled it into, turn it into like a bolster. If you have a bolster, great, get the bolster ready. Blocks, water, blankets, jumpers, socks, whatever you may need. Because when we get into the position, I want you to be comfortable and do not push too far because we're going to hold the positions like 5 minutes on each. So that means you need to persevere. So do your best, enjoy the meditation, just don't force the body, okay? So the first one is we are going to just do one arm and then get into the position of the dragon pose first. So sitting up nice and tall, arriving in your meditation and your yin class. Take a deep breath in. Have a little check to see how your body is feeling today. Take the deep couple of sighs to relax and arrive here. Whatever kind of day you had, it doesn't matter. Just start becoming more present and more connected to your bodies. And then open your eyes and let's go. We are just gonna go into this dragon pose first. As I said before, we're gonna hold a long time, so I'm gonna show you the pose first, and then you can have the cushions and stuff adjusted. So you take a step forwards. So when you do this, knees parallel with your hips, so your double yellow line. And if you are not very flexible, you can open the leg further out. This is also good, okay? So it's just still the same pose, but there's a different variation. And then we're gonna either be hands on the floor or either side of the foot. And if you can't reach the floor, you can have blocks, okay? And this, you can trust them, or if you don't have blocks, you use cushions, whatever it is you might need. If the back needs things, you think that you might have a problem with it, you can put a bolster under the upper leg, just above the knee. That's where it can stay. So when we are here for the whole duration, you can have some comfort. I'm going to keep mine here. So I'm arriving with my blocks, my arms are onto the blocks, and they're on the lower setting. You might have them higher setting. You might not be as far down as me. I am here on my upper leg, okay? So we arrive on our pose first. Take a couple of more like sighing breaths. Become aware of your body. You should find a soft spot. Where you are, you shouldn't be feeling any pain yet. As we go along, there's going to be different emotions and pains might be coming along. But you just don't want to start with the pain. You want to start in a soft place. Now, as you're arriving here, just you're going to check to see the front foot is pressing down. You got the heel, your toes, maybe try to articulate each and every toe on the floor. As you do that, you'll feel the lower leg activate, and you're kind of switching the pressure onto different parts of the leg. So you don't have to be on one point during the holds. Even though you don't change your position, you can change the muscles by articulating the feet. Because each toe relates to a different part of your leg. So I want you to remember that when you start getting really like struggles. Just deep breaths. Whenever you feel like you're hitting a wall and you can't stay there any longer, I want you to try to find some more space. So we want open space. Here on the hips, you're feeling the front foot, just focus on that again, focus on the toes, especially your little toe pushing to the floor. See what happens when you do that, how your body weight shifts to the heel a little bit more. So you don't really implant your foot. Then you find the big toe and the ball of your foot. Then you can feel the pressure on the hip, on the back leg disappear a little bit more, because if the toes activate and the back leg gets a little bit more release. If you don't activate the foot, your knee starts pressuring, because you put all the pressure on the knee joint, and then you just start feeling the pain back. So you want to feel the pain in the muscle maybe, not in the joints as much. Obviously, when we're holding long time, the muscle pain can be relating to some kind of emotion. So you might start feeling the resistance from your mind coming and telling you to stop doing it because it's too hard. Just try to ignore these thoughts. So whenever you feel it's too much, you can't hold, you must go back to the foot and engage the toes. Then maybe switching the muscles around and you're giving yourself a little bit of a break. So the back hip relaxes again, because gravity is pulling the hip down, all your body weight's onto the legs now. So the longer we hold, the heavier you get. And the more you start to surrender to the floor. So I want you to start noticing all these things. Still checking the front foot, making sure the knee is not challenged. Your arms are holding you, but they don't get tense to the shoulders. You're feeling shoulders relax. And then whenever you feel like you need to sigh, sigh it out again. Now we're gonna arrive in the last minute in this pose. So if you want to, you can go a little bit deeper, or if it's too much, you push your body weight back to just a tiny bit from the hip. Okay? In my case, I'm gonna push forward. So what I do, I force my knee over my toes further. So what I did by doing this, I switched the heel, stretching more. So my heel's still on the ground, but I pushed it into deeper into my quads and my calves. And I can start relaxing my body a little bit further down, so I don't feel the need of the block anymore. So we're on the last 30 seconds now. So see how you're feeling. Don't have to do what I do, you have to find your own. Deepening the breath. Just start noticing the emotions you're feeling here. And what leg is in the front? Is it the left leg or the right leg? So you can compare with the other side when we get to the other side. Great. Now we're going to pull back with the hips first, so you can help yourself to bring that front leg back onto the knees. I'm going to rebound on the downward facing dog. You can just simply sit onto the child's pose if you don't want to come up. But I quite like that sensation of new fresh blood running through my legs. So I'm in my down dog, and I'm going to hold it here for a couple of minutes. So as I said, you don't have to lift the knees, but if you lifted the knees, make sure your arms are pressing down evenly, so you're not tensing your neck. Your shoulder blades are really holding you, elbows are tucking in, you're breathing, letting go and sighing the stress away from the body. And your body is going to start feeling really, really heavy, because we are moving ever so slow and we are grounding to the floor. So that's only natural that you're going to feel heavy. we are going to take the other leg. So you now know where you were on one side, and you try to go to the same place on the other side. It might not be the same because our bodies are imbalanced. Most of us, mine is in any case. So you might need to adjust a little differently. So I step opposite knee forwards, my hands either side of my foot, and I'm relaxing in this position, arriving in my dragon pose. Now, you're finding the soft spot. Once you found it, you're going to hold it there and see what kind of feelings are getting attached to this exercise. First of all, think about whether it's the same here as the other side. Is it feeling challenging or is it okay? Can you connect with your toes? Can you articulate and engage different muscles in the lower leg? Engaging different muscles on the back hip. And relaxing the shoulders and trying to ground the body further down. This exercise works all 6 lower body meridians. So I'm going to start telling you a few things about them. The meridians are all connected. Even the lower body meridians are connected to upper body, and they're connected to our organs. So what starts in the foot, it just ends up somewhere else in the body. Okay, so this one's kidney and bladder meridians, liver and gallbladder, and spleen and stomach. So I'll start with the kidney and bladder. You can see and understand easily that they're related to water because they cleanse the body through releasing water. And where we got adrenaline glands sit on the kidneys. So the emotions you feel here is the fear and will to live. So it's very ingrained into ourselves, self-will to live, because we don't want to die. We naturally have this instinct that we want to keep on living. Okay? So when you're in this position, you got your back in an extended position where the kidneys sit in the lower back. And see whether you can connect and feel your kidneys. What are they telling you? Is there any tightness around the back? Or is your tightness just the hips? Even though it's related to kidneys, you might feel that your hips are tight because the meridians come across the hip joint, okay? But sometimes it's very obvious. You have a lower back pain and you know you've been pushing too hard and not getting enough care, maybe, then your kidneys are suffering. You start doubting yourself, and you start feeling stressed, depressed, lonely. All these emotions relate to kidneys being imbalanced and the bladder. So just notice these things, and if it applies to you, and you're feeling any of these emotions, you might start drinking more water or just sleep well or take it easy, care for yourself, just to slow down maybe, because adrenaline is a very strong hormone. It can push you, so you can push far too far maybe. So you want to be in balance. Just keep trying to make connection. Some of us have problems with urinary infections. This can also relate to imbalances in the kidneys and bladder walls. And if you don't drink enough water or drink too much alcohol or sugars drinks, this can really make us imbalanced. So I want you to start noticing and connecting. Now we are approaching the last minute, so I'm gonna again go a little deeper because I feel like it. Otherwise you pull back a little bit more from the hip, okay? So I'm gonna try to force my knee over my toes a little and just gonna ground. And this one pushes into my stomach a bit more. That gives me 2 spleen and stomach meridians in the front of the body, okay? The spleen and stomach meridians They come up from the front of the hip flexors into our chest. So, and this meridian is responsible for eliminating the energy from the food and transporting it to right places in the body. So just start thinking about the connections from that. But before we go more into it, I'm gonna now pull you back from this position. Just slowly pull your hips back and then get the knee back. This time I'm going onto my child's pose. I'm just gonna sit here with the high hips. You might feel extreme pain in the parts of the body that you might not be wanting to be in. You can just simply change your position. You can sit down if you don't want to be here. I want you to start finding what's good for you. Okay, so I'm just trying to guide you through your own meditation, own exercises. So as we rebound the body, we are arriving back to neutral. Just run through your head what you felt in the right side and the left side, without judgment. And gently sit back towards your hips on the child's pose a little bit further back. And gently help yourself up with your hands. Slowly, kindly, you're going to move yourself into a seated position. We're going to go into shoelace next. Again, this is related to hips. You can look up to see the position. So I'm going to sit on something like this. And we are going to cross our legs over each other. Some of us are not very flexible, so you can stretch the one leg and cross the other knee over like this. So this will be the half a shoelace. This is perfectly okay. But if you can bend the bottom knee and then lift the top leg over, this is going to be more challenging. So you need to make space and you need to be comfortable. So you can find more cushions under your bum to raise the buttocks up. So when you get to it, raise yourself up and down a couple times and see whether you can stay here. Remember, we are holding for a long time. One trick here I like, I grab the ball of my feet and squeeze them and lift my hips up. That kind of puts me back into right position through my seat bones. Yeah. Then I want you to just be comfortable here. You don't have to recline. If you want to recline, you can just bring things, props in front of you. And then maybe go there. Yes, this is easier. If you want more, you can just bring the hands around the neck. I'm not going to do that because I can't be heard that well, so I'm just going to be here in the recline in the front, okay? So we are arriving in the pose. You can be one leg straight out, remember. You need to sit here and think, is this okay? Do you think I can keep this for 5 minutes? If it's too much, change your position. Then when you arrive, you're gonna relax first. Breathing and breathing out. And see what kind of feelings attach to here. What is your hips feel telling you? What kind of conversation you're feeling in the head when you come here? Some of us are so inflexible in the hips, you can't be in it so long. I know you can move if you have to move, but if you cushion your body, you can stay the whole time. Now we get to the liver and gallbladder meridians from here, from the sides of the legs. You connect the gallbladder. And the function of the gallbladder is releasing all the enzymes relating to our digestion, so they connect with the stomach. So they get the bile from the gallbladder releases in the stomach itself. So if there's imbalances here, it's going to affect your stomach and digestion. So we're all connected. Everything in the body has to be balanced. So you can't just force one emotion, one feeling the whole time. So you need to have balance amongst the feelings. we have the emotion, the negative emotion here that we feel is anger. So if you're out of balance in the liver and gallbladder meridians, you feel the anger. It's very easy to understand because if you drink too much the day after, you start becoming very irritable, hangover, and your liver starts really trying to digest the alcohol but can't cope with it, and you start snapping at people. This is very common reaction after a heavy night's drink, and that's why most alcoholics has trouble with this kind of emotions. So just easy to find how you can be in balance. So you'll know when to stop drinking and when to start drinking more water to cleanse the body. And you can use this knowledge to better your life. Not to stop living, but know what to do when you need to do something about it. So this is why we meditate. So we're learning about how we can control our emotions or balance them. And the reasons beyond our emotions. We are not bad. We are not born bad. We are not, nobody is ever so good all the time either. We all have these emotions. Sometimes we're angry, sometimes we're happy, sometimes we worry, sometimes we fear. But the question is, can you balance and control, change your mood? So here you're asking questions. Are you tight? Why are you tight so much? What is so difficult here? And deepening the pose now. We're gonna go a little bit further if you can. In my case, I kind of naturally kind of found my way back down here, but you might not be here. You might have to take the pressure off. So you need to surrender the pose. We're almost there. Try to give up on who you think you are. Just start realizing who you really are here, what your body really needs. If your body is feeling struggle here, just be generous to it. Just don't judge. No judgment. Try to understand so you can make the necessary adjustments. Breathing, and you know that you're breathing. You're doing your best. That's all you can do. And there is no hurry. If you can't get down quickly, what's the problem with that? There's no problem with that. Wherever you are right now is where you need to be. Remember that. Just paying attention more and more. And slowly moving ourselves back up. Now I'm just gonna take my time moving my knee, helping it with my arms, and move the other knee. Let the blood, fresh blood, run through my legs. Then I'm gonna put my feet down and just go slowly rock one side. Wow. And the other side, and just start noticing that feeling, pins and needles, the pain. Maybe you're feeling like quite free now. Maybe things are changing for you. Just notice, observe. Sigh and let go. Nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary, you know that. So what your hardship you feel now, when we finish, it won't be there. You might move on to the next feeling. But just for now, just give yourself a chance to recover. So we can go and finish with the other side. Now the other side, so remember your easier option is lengthening the bottom leg. And you can even cushion this knee here or put a block underneath. In my case, I'm going to keep it the same. You'll see that this side is not the same as the other side. This is my left leg over at the moment, and I have difficulty on this side. A lot more different. So we're all different. So the right is different, left is different. We have to accept our differences. And I'm gonna do this again on the balls of my feet. I pressure them down. It puts my knees right in the alignment. Yeah. Then I'm gonna bring my blocks in the front. As I said, you don't have to be here. You can be just sitting up. You don't have to recline. But I'm gonna start here and arrive on this side. So this is the different side. We were talking about the meridians in the body. I'm just going to run you through them again. You still, when you recline forwards, you're going to affect the kidney and bladder. Meridians on the lower back here, you feel it. On the sides of the body, we got the gallbladder and liver. And the front of the hips is the spleen, stomach, and all of them cross the hips. Okay? So your hips, when they start hurting, because there's got so much to deal and connect with the hips. Just think about the hip joint. What does it function at? So meridians are internal, but the joints itself, they're mechanical. So you can think about what they do for you. How they make you move around. It's like they take so much pressure and they make compound movements. Yes, they can move the body front, back, sides. There's a lot of pressure here, so accept the fact your hips are gonna feel tired time to time. There's nothing wrong with that. Just relax. Give your hips a break. Now understanding the body is a complex mechanism, organs, cells, blood vessels, nerve endings, hormones. They all have to communicate. There's so much has to go right for us to feel balanced. So if we feel out of balance, this is no surprise. This is only natural. But I want you to think how you can change anger into passion, how you can change worry into compassion, how you can change fear into confidence, trust, and faith. How can you do all this? You can do it because you have the power to feel compassionate, power to feel ambition, power to feel connectedness. You can feel courageous, you can be brave, you can feel faith. So whatever you feel that is negative, there is also the opposing feeling of positive. So try your best to feel the positive of what you're feeling, all the hardships in your life. Just go through them now and try to change the feeling. I don't know what you go through, you know what you go through. Just arriving here without any judgment, and you're telling to yourself, you're okay. You got so much. You have the power to change. Tomorrow is on your hands. You can change within. And the smallest changes, they accumulate in time to make massive changes. Don't expect to get it in a day or an hour. It takes however long it takes. And you know what? Your challenges will change also. What you had thought is just challenge last year is not challenging this year. But there's different challenges come. So you can't really be angry about things. Because your anger will only slow you down, because you will be wasting your energy. You can't fear things, because the fear stops you doing things. You won't be doing anything. You'll be sitting at home depressed, not knowing what to do. You'll feel lonely and unloved. And worry for tomorrow is gonna also make you like fidgety, and you won't sleep, you won't eat properly, and you'll stop using your energy properly. Just remember, you're wonderful. Just take a moment to appreciate that. Everything else will sort itself out in the most unusual way, most unexpected way. So you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You can't change what's happened yesterday. We are here and now, and we are starting to make the change in ourselves. Now gently, slowly come up. I know that was very quick on the last pose. We're gonna just undo our legs once again. Slowly. Again, sit up. If you feel like you needed to stay longer in that position, you could have done so, but I want you to come back because I timed it all, so we got the same. I'm just gonna move my legs side to side, rub my knees, my feet. Just sit in a comfortable position, whichever way it is for you. You'll just chant 3 times on 3 times Shanti. Don't worry about how long I chanted. You have to find your own breath and do it in your own way. Okay? Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Take your arms over your head. Gently join your palms together. Touch your chin, touch your chest. Namaste, everybody. I hope this was good for you. Take it easy.